Introduction. This isn't your grandfather's religion. Future science and technology will permit playing with the building blocks of space-time, matter, energy, and life in ways that we could only call magic and supernatural today. Someday in the future, you and your loved ones will be resurrected by very advanced science and technology. Inconceivably advanced intelligences are out there among the stars. Even more godlike beings operate in the fabric of reality underneath space-time or beyond space-time and control the universe. Future science will allow us to find them and become like them. Our descendants in the far future will join the community of godlike beings among the stars and beyond, and use transcendent technology to resurrect the dead and remake the universe. Science, space-time, aliens, future technology. I warned you, this is not your grandmother's religion. Or is it? Simply what I said and reword it as God exists, controls reality, will resurrect the dead and remake the universe. Sounds familiar? I bet it does. So perhaps this is the religion of our grandparents, in different words. God, an absolutely infinitely far, totally unknowable God, can't be ruled out by science. In fact, one of my conclusions is that God is undecidable but plausible. I'm a theoretical physicist by training and a transhumanist. I also believe in God and in the afterlife. Inconsistent? Some will say so, but I don't care. Some bureaucrats of philosophy will say all sort of bad things and criticize me for mixing science and religion, but I really couldn't give less of a damn. I haven't written this book for them. I've written this book for you. If you are afraid of death, this book is for you. If you are grieving for the loss of a loved one, this book is for you. If you want to reconcile your belief in God with your scientific worldview, this book is for you. If you are a transhumanist who wants to believe in a transcendent reality, this book is for you. Perhaps you have been told that science has or will soon have all the answers and religion is a fairy tale. Not so. Current science is very far from having all the answers, but future science and technology will validate and realize all the promises of religion. My message is that if you want, you can hope to live again with your loved ones without abandoning the scientific worldview. If you want, you can believe in the essential core of your religion without abandoning the scientific worldview. So who is this guy with the new religion? Thanks for asking, but my ideas are not that new. I will try to emphasize the parallels between my ideas and traditional religions rather than the differences, and picture Jesus in a spacesuit, Muhammad in a quantum computing lab, the Buddha in circuits of a digital computer, or the gears of a cycle transmission, Robert Pirsig, of course, Pirsig, 1974. My family was nominally Catholic, but we didn't go to church and considered religion as something that other people do. So I grew up mostly uninterested in traditional religion and unaffected by it. At the same time, since I can remember, I have always been interested in spirituality and the foundations of reality. My name is Giulio Prisco. I grew up reading a lot of science and science fiction. I studied theoretical physics with the intention to specialize in fundamental cosmology and quantum physics, and started working on a highly theoretical thesis, but then switched to a more practical field and eventually earned my degree with a research thesis on free electron laser physics. Soon after I moved to CERN, where I developed software for data acquisition in high energy physics experiments. Then I moved to the European Space Agency, where I mostly worked on computational fluid dynamics, gas dynamics, Monte Carlo simulations, parallel computing, and the early internet. Then I moved to senior management roles in other public science and technology administrations. One day in 2005, I told the boring world of 9 to 5 office nonsense to get lost. First, I started virtual reality consulting company that was reasonably successful for a few years. Then I became a freelancer dabbling in many different areas, including event organization, software development, blockchain technology, business and scientific journalism. I wish to thank the internet for allowing me to earn a living as a free agent. I don't call myself a scientist these days. I guess I'm one of the former scientists who, in the words of Leonard Susskind 2013, have been around the block a few times and are not at all afraid to ask questions. I'm not at all afraid to propose answers either. I have had a transhumanist outlook since I can remember. In the mid-90s, I found other transhumanists online, thank you internet, and became a card-carrying member of the movement. I still am, but I guess my interpretation of transhumanism is unconventional. Just read the rest of the book. Back to religion. While I call myself a believer, my interpretation of religion is also unconventional and inspired by transhumanism and science fiction, of course. I became interested in the parallels and intersections between transhumanism and religion, and in 2004 I wrote an essay on my developing ideas titled Engineering Transcendence, Prisco 2004. The essay was criticized by many, but appreciated by some, and I became part of a small but growing community of religious transhumanists. I have been writing about religion and transhumanism ever since. I am a member of the Mormon Transhumanist Association, MTA, and the Christian Transhumanist Association, CTA, two groups that promote transhumanist ideas in their respective religious communities on the less conventional, more speculative wild side. I founded a group called Turing Church to hack religion, enlighten science, and awaken technology. About this book and how to read it. I have tried to make this book as short, clear, and simple as possible, and use the language that we use every day. This hasn't been easy, but I hope the result is a readable book. Let me get some disclaimers. Caveats and qualifications out of the way. This is not a science book because I will venture far from the territory covered by established science into the weirdest fringes of highly imaginative science. This is not a book on religion because I do not offer certainties, but only visions and hope. Call my book mythology, if you wish, but I wouldn't have written this book if I were not persuaded that my mythology might be close to reality. I have chosen the title Tales of the Turing Church to emphasize that I do not wish to offer a tight scientific, religious, or philosophical system, but rather a loose collection of ideas, visions, and tales. Besides some glueware to connect nodes in a network of thoughts, I have not developed any of the important concepts and arguments covered in this book. Please see the acknowledgements. Since I prefer reading ebooks, I have used a mobile first, ebook first design and tried to make this book easily readable on all popular devices, including smartphones, with tweaks to make the web and printable PDF version easy readable too. I have composed this book in Google Drive for convenience of writing and editing anytime, where including on the phone in a car under the snow, which is how I'm writing these words, and collaborating with early readers and reviewers. The official free version of the book is the final Google Drive version. I haven't even thought of submitting the book to a major publisher. Instead, I have asked a group of trusted friends, writers and experts, the acknowledgements, to join me for a final revision, mercilessly criticize the draft, and suggest improvements. While this book is meant to be read from the beginning to the end, I have tried to make all chapters readable independently. The price to pay is some repetition, but repetition is not necessarily a bad thing. I'll repeatedly hammer in some important concepts and arguments. This book is not self-contained. I tried to give good references, but I assume that the reader will use Google to find out more. Remember, the internet is your friend. I have aimed at clarity and readability rather than breadth and depth. With less is more in mind, trying to use what the author of a classic mathematics textbook called a merciless telegram style. Landau, 1966. I won't inflict mathematical formulas on you, but I will use mathematical notations now and then. Since I don't trust all ebook readers to display exotic characters correctly, I use programming notation. For example, I use the double asterisks for exponentiation. 10 double asterisk 9 means 10 multiplied by itself 9 times, or 1 billion, and 10 double asterisk minus 9 means 1 divided by 1 billion. I use SQR for square roots, pi for the number that comes out when we talk about circles, and that should be it. While the chapters in part 2 are mainly about philosophy, religion and science fiction, and the chapters in part 3 are mainly about science, the separation is not very sharp. Philosophy and science, religion and science fiction are intermingled in all chapters. I don't consider this a bug, but a feature. One thing that you won't find in this book is politics. I do have political opinions, like everyone, but partisan politics is irrelevant to what I want to discuss here. This book includes content adapted from essays that I have written over many years and published in my websites Turing Church.com and more recently Turing Church.net. If a link doesn't work, please use Wayback Machine to retrieve the content. My essays since 2016 are in Turing Church.net. However, I have extensively modified and often entirely rewritten previously published essays. I have also tried to be somewhat consistent, but without really worrying too much about consistency, which is known as the hobgoblin of little minds, Ralph Waldo Emerson, Meyerson 2000. This book is a snapshot of what I think today, December 2018. It is more concise and I hope clearer than previous essays. Please visit my website for past and future essays. References and notes are at the end of each chapter and referred to with square brackets in the text. Notes: Christian Transhumanist Association. See, Christianity and transhumanism are much closer than you think. God is undecidable but plausible. See, Thought Experiments in Physical Theology. Mormon Transhumanist Association, see Man Will Become Like God, say Mormons and Transhumanists. Square brackets in the text refer to notes and references at the end of each chapter. Transhumanist, see Transhumanism, Wayback Machine, archive.org/web/reference Landau 1966 Edmund Landau Foundations of Analysis Chelsea Publishing Company 1966 Original Grundlagen der Analysis Akademische Verlagsgesellschaft 1930 Meyerson 2000 Joel Meyerson Transcendentalism A Reader Oxford University Press 2000 Pirsig 1974 Robert Pirsig Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance William Morrow and Company 1974 Prisco 2004 Giulio Prisco Engineering Transcendence http://julioprisco.blogspot.com/2006/12/engineeringtranscendence.html Süskind 2013 Leonard Süskind George Rabowski The Theoretical Minimum What You Need to Know to Start Doing Physics Basic Books 2013